Hello everyone, this is Cari for Redesign with Prima, and today's project is going to be this beautiful wall decor project using Decor Poly, one of our wood chargers, chalk paints, and more. So this is really fun to make, and I can't wait to share all the tips and tricks with you. First, I'm going to take this 14-inch wood charger. This is made by Redesign, and I mist it with a little bit of water, and then I take a brush and the antique sage chalk paste and just go over it lightly and give it sort of a wash. So I still want some of that wood to show through, some of the wood grains, and give it like a really kind of rustic look. So it's really simple. You can wet the board, or the wood charger I should say, and your brush, and just dip into the chalk paste and spread it around the wood. Now this, I only did one coat, but you're welcome to do more than one if you don't want the wood tone to show through, but I really love the extra warm tones that come through. Then we drilled 2 holes at the top because I want to add ribbon to hang it later. So I figured we'd get this out of the way while we're at it. And then I'm going to seal the wood. This is going to help with all the art mediums I'm going to add to it as I go. This will help move them around and protect the chalk paint finish also from when I add the wet art mediums. And it's just a simple water-based sealer. That's it. And I used just 1 coat on this. Next, I'm going to take some of our liquid acrylic paint. It's burnt sienna. And I have a little dish of water handy, which you can't see, but I put just a few drops of that liquid acrylic on a piece of paper, and I use my brush and dip it into the water, then dip it into the liquid acrylic and just move it around the board. Then I use a baby wipe just to wipe it back because I only want hints of, that brown, those brown tones to come through in those areas. So I'm just trying to give it sort of an aged, weathered look with the burnt sienna. And I think it looks great, and I can still see some of those warm wood tones come through. And here I'm just adding it to the edge, and very little goes a long way. Now if you add a little bit too much, you can always wipe it back because you added that sealer first. So that sealer really helps make the art medium move around and doesn't just soak into the wood automatically. I did go back and add it into some areas where there's like little notches in the wood, and just to make them, more pronounced in the design. So again, just wiping out with water, a little bit of that burnt sienna, and then wiping back with a baby wipe. Next, I'm using our Decor Poly called Serene Perch Left. It is painted, so it originally looks like this, but I had intended on using it on a different project and I didn't use it. So I'm adding beach sand chalk paint just to give it a nice light base coat. I just add 1 or 2 layers just to give it a nice coating, and sometimes you have to really dab into all of those nooks and crannies of the Decor Poly. What's great about the Decor Poly is it takes almost any art mediums you want to throw at it. I'm going to mist it with some water and first add some Manor Coffee chalk paste. This is just going to give it a little bit of depth and dimension over the beach sand color. It's going to go into all those little nooks and crannies, and I wet it thoroughly, and then I take a baby wipe and just wipe back because I don't want complete coverage. I just wanted to highlight some of those beautiful details of the Decor Poly. It's so easy to use and so pretty, and it's just instant dimension and details, which I love. There's birds and branches and leaves, and so I'm just going to highlight all of these to make it really come to life before I start adding the other colors. The chalk pastes are really easy to use. You can move them around, you can layer them, you can mix the colors, and they do dry permanently, but I end up sealing this anyway because I have other art mediums to add to it, but so friendly to use. A couple things about Decor Poly: it is bendable, it is non-toxic, so it is really safe to use. It takes all kinds of art mediums, and you can warm it up a bit in the sun or with like a little bit of heat from the hair dryer to make it bend around curves and corners and things like that. Some of the details on here are a little bit thicker than others, so it doesn't always bend as easily as some of the other ones, but it's a wonderful product to use, and I just had so much fun adding details to all the florals and branches and birds. Now I'm going in with antique sage, which is what I used on the wood charger, and I'm just putting it over the flowers. again, just adding it on with a wet brush, and then I can always wipe it back with a baby wipe. Now you can mix and choose other blues to paint this with, but I really wanted to keep this very sort of simple, vintagey, and monochromatic, so to speak. But you can have so much fun with this, adding any colors you wish, making it any way that you like. I love the chalk paste because they're thicker, and they go into all of those little crevices really, really nicely with just a hint of water. And now I'm going to do all the leaves with the crescent green chalk paste. So I'm just going to hint them with a touch of green, and again, same thing, I'm adding it on and then I wipe back. Another great thing that I love about the Decor Poly is that it's odorless. So it doesn't have a scent to it or a funny smell. It is, like I said, non-toxic, so you can safely use it. And all you have to do is add glue to the back of these and apply them to any of your DIY projects. And it's like instant dimension, which is really, really cool. We have a variety of different designs on the website that you can go check out later after you watch the video and just see what we have to offer. A lot of beautiful florals and designs that will just upgrade your projects instantly. So now I'm still carrying on with the crescent green chalk paste and just going into all those little leaves, and they're really easy to see. This isn't too hard to color, and again, you can layer different colors, like a lighter green with a darker green, or go in with pinks or reds for the roses. It's totally up to you. This is actually like a really kind of fun project because you don't have to be perfect, and you can just have fun layering and adding your colors. Next, I'm adding the russet chalk paste. So this is just sort of a chocolatey brown color that I'm doing on the branches, and it really brings these branches to life. They're almost hidden within the flowers and the leaves. So this is actually very relaxing and very fun, and I really enjoy just coloring and playing around with this. So really the sky's the limit with any color combinations you want to add to these. Let me know in the comments if you've ever tried the Decor Poly or if you've used it on anything. I would love to know. We have different furniture projects that our team has done, and the results are just so pretty. So I'm just curious to know if you guys have ever used these. Now I'm going in with Iron Gate. So this is kind of like a charcoal gray, almost black, and I'm just highlighting the birds with this. So I just wanted to give them a little bit more definition with the darker color, just to make them blend into the whole scene, but also stand out a little bit too. And this, again, you can add as much or as little as you like. Before I move on to my next step, I am adding a water-based sealer to the Decor Poly just to protect it, because I don't want this next step to interfere with any of the colors that I've added. So it's a protective sealer. Now I'm going back with that burnt sienna that I used on the wood charger, and I'm adding it to the Decor Poly. So I'm making this sort of like a wash with a little bit of water, just like I did on the charger. This is really going to bring all of those florals and leaves and birds to life. So it's going to just add a little bit more definition to all of the shapes here on the poly. And again, just wiping back with a baby wipe and removing the excess. Now it's important to know that you want this to dry before you move on to the next stage, and I just set it in the sun and let it dry and let it do its thing. Or you can just let it sit overnight, or use a hair dryer just to speed up the process a little bit too. But I just love how now you can really see all of those roses and leaves and details, and I think they just look so pretty. Okay, so now it's time to, there I just demonstrate how bendy it is. But now I'm going to add the super glue gel to attach it to the wood. So I just use the activation spray and then I add the gel to the back of the Decor Poly. So a little bit of this glue goes a really long way, and it helps you to just stick it down really quickly so that you can carry on working. And what's nice too is that with the poly being bendable, you can just kind of press it into that crevice in the middle of the wood charger so it fits on there really evenly and nicely. There's no issues gluing it down. And now I'm going in with the burnt sienna again and just defining all of the edges. Now that it's glued down, I can go around with my wet brush and a little bit more of that liquid acrylic and just defining where the Decor Poly meets the charger. So it's just adding more of an aging effect and shadows and defining the entire shape of the poly. So I just love these blue and pastel tones, and I'm curious to know what color combinations you would use for something like this. What would go in your home, or maybe you want simple, just creamy colored with an aged look, or brighter colors. I'm always curious to know what you guys would prefer to use or what goes in your homes. My house is all wood. I live in an A-frame house where my walls are all dark wood. So I tend to go for lighter color projects if I want to hang for, season decor or just on my doors or anything like that. But yeah, so I tend to go for the lighter colors just so that things like this stand out a bit. And I think this would look amazing on a front door with maybe a wreath behind it or in the middle of a wreath too. You can certainly seal it again once you're finished and, make it so that it's a little bit more protective if you wanted to do something like that. Okay, so I'm wrapping up all of the aging around the Decor Poly, and I'm pretty happy with it. It gives it shadows and highlights and everything like that I really wanted. Next, I'm just going to add some metallic shimmer. This is called aged brass. This is an old tin of Decor wax that I have. They come in tubes now, but I like to use up my tins before I move on to something new. So I'm just lightly adding this aged brass around some of the florals and leaves just to warm it up just a bit, because I feel like it needed just a little bit of warmth to go with some of that burnt sienna, which is like the warmer wood tone. So I hope that makes sense, but I don't add very much, and I just add it lightly to, like I said, some of the Decor Poly pieces like the flowers, and then I do go around the edges as well. And what's interesting is that you can certainly take different metallics, different waxes, and layer them, so that's really cool. Now all I did was tie knots on the back of this velvet ribbon, and I made a V, and then I tied the ribbon in a bow and just glued it to the top of that V. That's all I did to hang it with. And because I added the yellow velvet ribbon, I felt like I needed a little bit more yellow, so to speak, within the design. So I grabbed my vintage gold Decor Wax and just started adding that around, and it actually brought the whole look together. So this is what I mean by being able to layer the different metallic waxes together. It's pretty cool that you can add that later if you choose. And here it is, all finished. I hope this inspires you to create some beautiful spring decor for yourself. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.